implement these ideas. So our fourth. Okay, so for step number one, we're going to look at Danny California and how Frusciante is using a hammer-on technique with these chords between the third and the fourth degree of the scale. Okay, so let's set up for an E4 minor bar chord here, and then we're going to take our third finger and move it down to where our fourth finger was placed, like that, okay? So we're just going to be using the E string as a bass note when we go 1, 2, and then we're going to hit the D and G strings, and when we strike those two, our fourth finger is going to hammer on, and then we're going to come back and hit the D string afterwards. So 1, 2, 1, 2. So that's hammering on between the third degree and the fourth degree here. So it's 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, we move that down to the G here, and we're going to be setting up for this major triad here, which is our third, second, first finger there, but we're going to use the same technique of putting the bass note down an octave here. So we go 1, 2, and then what we're going to be using our fourth finger to hammer on between our second finger here with these two notes, okay, to get that third degree and fourth degree interaction there. So 1, 2, striking the same two strings, okay, on our G. So 1, 2. Okay, so if we go back to our E form, 1, 2 to G, 1, 2. Okay, so that's those two there. Now we're going to set up for our next chord, which is a D minor bar chord in A form here, and here the hammer-ons between the third and fourth are on these strings here in this position. So we're going to go 1, 2, and with our strumming here we can strum the D, G and B strings like that. So it's 1, 2, and then we come back and make sure we hit the G to get that root note. So 1, 2, root notes on the A string here. So 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, so those three together, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so once you're comfortable with that, then we're going to move up to this position here to repeat the chord progression. So we're starting off with the same minor bar chord we used for the D minor, just our first finger's on the 12th fret, and we're going to go 1, 2, hammering on there, okay? The new one is going to come with our G major here. We've got this A form bar chord here with our first finger on the 10th, third finger on the 12th on the D, G and B. And our fourth finger is going to be doing the hammering on from the third to the fourth back, and then root note there. So it's 1, 2, you can strum the D, G and B string, so 1, 2, and then hit the G string like that. So it's 1, 2, and then from this position we just come up to the D minor here, which is, we've already covered this before. Okay, so A minor, 1, 2, G, 1, 2, and then D, 1, 2, just like that. Okay, for set number two, we're going to be looking at how Frusciante approaches his hammer-ons on these chord shapes here, these major triads. This is most famous from Under the Bridge, where it's cool. So let's jump in and start looking at the exercise. So what we're going to do, setting up this shape, we're just going to go really steady. So 1, 2, 1, 2, and then into our A form minor bar chord. Okay, so setting up on our A major triad here, we're just going to hit our bass note 1, 2, strum all the way through, and we're going to hammer on with our fourth finger when we get to the bottom, and then we strum again through to the B string, and then we hammer on with our fourth finger there, okay? So it's 1, 2, hammer on, strum again and onto the B string. So 1, 2, strum through, hammer on, pull off on the E, strum again, hammer on, pull off on the B. Move it up 2 frets to our B major, 1, 2, same sequence of hammer-ons and pull-offs. Okay, so A, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then into our A form here. 2 times on that chord, so 1, 2, 2, 1, 2. So just get comfortable with doing the hammer on and pull off between the E string and the B string. And as you get more comfortable, you can build up the speed of it. So. Okay, for step number 3, we're going to look at a really iconic entry of Frusciante's into his E-form minor bar chords. Okay, so with that chord shape here, what we're going to be doing is where our 3rd and 4th fingers are, we're going to be using our 3rd finger to slide into those 2 notes, which is the 5th and root of the chord. So we've got our chord here, you slide in, you can be 2 frets below or even just 1 to get that effect. So we go, and then we're going to use our 1st finger to play a little double stop here, which is the D and G. So it's slide, double stop, go back to that double stop there, and then hit your 1st finger there. So it's chord, set it up, slide, 1, 2, 3, chord, slide, 1, 2, 3, chord, slide, 1, 2, 3. And once you're starting to get the hang of that, try moving the chord shape around to different positions on the fretboard. So you might have a B minor if we move it down 2 frets and we go chord. Let's say A minor, down here we go. G minor, 2 more frets down, so. Step number 4 is all about implementing these ideas in chord progressions that you come across in your day-to-day playing. So keep an eye out where you can implement these ideas. So. Now 4th. Just like that. So that brings our video to an end. Hit those like and subscribe buttons. People, if you want to master the fundamental skill sets of contemporary guitar, check out my online course, which is the High Point Music Guitar Fundamentals program. You can get the most important and valuable skill sets under your fingers to start exploring your journey on the guitar on your terms. And then lastly, if you love the content of this video, sign up for a $1 per month membership on Patreon. My name is Ryan Wyatt. Thank you very much for watching, and catch you all in the next video.